What's going on, YouTube? Mr. Almighty is here, and we are back again with some more pressers, presser reactions, man. This is the head coach Kevin Stefanski at the NFL Scouting Combine presser. So we're gonna react and see what got to say and what they got going and what he there for. Well, we know what he there for, but what he looking for and stuff like that. That's if he gets down off into it, but we're gonna see what's up with him. Make sure y'all hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share it to your friends and family, turn your notifications on. Also, make sure you follow me on all my socials and subscribe to my Twitch. Let's jump off into it. Yes, they can start, but y'all need to turn y'all mics on.
Gary Kubiak gave me was make a list, and it will get done, is what Gary told me. But you got to make a list because there's a lot coming at you.
Yeah, Skip, got a lot to talk about.
Coach Harbs does a great job. Somebody I have a ton of respect for. Just competing against him over the years. Teams always played hard. Were always sound in everything they did. Weren't going to beat themselves. I think the world of coach.
I don't know. Like, I can't hear what they're asking.
So it all kind of happens kind of a world.
I think it goes back to the earlier question. It can be a lot, but you just have to get organized and figure out what's important, and understanding that it's not all going to get done in one day. And as you know, putting a coaching staff together is a really big task and an important task, and have spent a lot of time doing that. Making sure you have the right fit of people, both on the offense, the defensive, special teams. So I think just being organized and staying true to what you believe in as you put that coaching staff together is really important, so that you can hit the ground running when your players get there in April. Yeah, I think so much of this is about fit, and fit for me, fit for what I believe in, and obviously with Arthur Blank, with Matt Ryan, Ian wasn't there just yet, but there was a belief and an alignment in how we saw the game and what we thought was important in this game. So felt really strongly about it, and really was very lucky to be able to talk to a bunch of other teams, but I felt like the fit was really strong.
Okay. I think it's about whether, and this one too about how he
had some frequent flyer miles. I guess is probably the easiest way of putting it. But it was fun. I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed getting to go into some other buildings and getting to sit down with people that I really, really respect, and trying to understand their building and their process and how they believe in team building and those type of things. So I really enjoyed that process, or that part of it, just to getting to know these other buildings, because there's really good people in all these buildings. So that was a fun part for me.
Yeah,
I'd never met Ian, which is surprising, just based on how long he's been doing it and I've been doing it. But we have a lot of mutual friends, and I can tell you I've loved getting to know the person. And I think just from the scout part of it, the general manager part of it, he's doing an awesome job. I think we're wired very similarly. I think we see the game in a lot of ways the same way, but we can push each other on different things as well. But I have a ton of respect for him. I mean, he's been raised the right way in this business, starting in Baltimore to Philly to Chicago. I mean, that's great pedigree.
You talking about Ian Cunningham right now? Well, that's what we just talked about.
I think the first thing is it's the Atlanta Falcon offense. It's our offense, and it's the things that we believe in, because the truth of the matter is, year to year, you have to be able to lean into different areas of your roster, because it varies year to year. So I think our offense, what Tommy Reese and the coaches are putting together right now, is going to be something that we feel like maximizes our players, which is the most important thing of any offense. And I think the exciting part for us there's a lot of guys along that.
Which last year, we didn't hear none of that, or we didn't see any of that. The only player was, and you kind of even can't say he was his ability to maximize with Bijan. Overused so much, it might have seemed like he was maximized really wasn't.
Group, the offensive line, naming a bunch of different players that we're excited about that we can, put them in a great position to succeed. Yeah, good question. I think you need to get through free agency and the draft. I think, the days of rookies not playing is not football anymore. So I think you want to build a foundation early in April, so the players certainly understand the scheme and those type of things. But you better be ready once that draft class comes through to see the players that you want to highlight, because those guys are going to play, and they're going to play early. Yeah, well, first of all, I just say it's a tough position to play, just in general. So we, as coaches and clubs, we want to do all that we can to insulate those players and put them in a system, put players around them, to allow for development of young players. I think there's countless examples of players that maybe they don't develop it. Their development takes time. It could take seasons, and I think there's great examples of MVPs in this league where it didn't click right away for them, and just understanding that as part of the process. So, but I do think it takes a lot of people to set the course for those young players at that position, because it's a hard position to play. Well, I don't know if I'd use the term overcoach. I would tell you have to be very intentional about who has the ear of your players and who has the ear of that quarterback. And, when you're in that quarterback room, you want to make sure that the voice is singular, even though it may be multiple people, but the voice and what you're telling the player is singular.
Kevin,
you got to make sure everybody on the same page, basically.
Was it
as you
about
or as
that last stretch, down the stretch in Cleveland, that why this time did you just right from the start say, Tommy, you're going to handle those?
Yeah, Chris, I just felt comfortable with Tommy and how he goes about his process of calling plays. I feel like on Sundays I can help him throughout that process, just like he helped me when I was calling him. But I'm very, very comfortable with that setup.
They down there would have won some of them games if it wasn't for
ours,
little things happening.
Ours, collective. Yeah, and I think, but there's.
But you say you kind of indicate there needs to be a guy who
I guess my point is that everybody's speaking the same language. And when I say that, that's part of the benefit of having Tommy Rees, having Alex Van Pelt. These are guys that I've coached with, guys that I believe what they believe. We're all speaking the same language.
I know you worked there with him a long time, but what did you get to know about Coach Bird and what he brought?
Yeah, Rudy is a great human being. I'm excited for him. Obviously, he's more than deserving for this opportunity, but very, very intelligent, great energy. He'll do a great job motivating the players. Excellent when it comes to scheme. So very, very happy for him. Yeah.
It's hard to really hear. Y'all got to turn y'all mic.
Sean was a guy very, very obvious early on that he was going to be a coach. And the minute he decided he was done playing, and I talked to him a lot over the years, and it just never worked out because he was still playing. He kept going back to Seattle to be on the practice squad, but you could tell right away he was wired to do this. His dad's a coach. When you're playing that, when you're the backup role, I think great coaches come from that role because you have to prepare yourself to play even when you're not getting the reps. So I think he's been really developed developed by the different stops that he's had with the different people that he's had, but it's always been in him to coach, and I think that just goes back to how he's brought up. Yeah, I mean, I hope I learned a lot every single day how to deal with media like Chris, and but I think for me it's you better have a constant growth mindset to have success in any endeavor in your life. So for me, trying to see the things that, hey, maybe I would have done it differently in that scenario, whether that was a game, whether that was something you decided on in the off season, just constantly looking at everything and making sure that you're growing from those experiences.
And that crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think those are good coaches. I think, number one, a lot of times I'm trying to hire the best coaches I can hire. Now, sometimes you're
Exactly.
friends with those guys, but that's not a prerequisite. And there's plenty of guys, Jeff Ulbrich, I didn't know Jeff, but I understand how good a coach he is, and he and I have hit it off. So I don't have to surround myself
Exactly,
with
and I'm-
all my guys I know. I don't feel that way, but there's a bunch
glad he
of
said
guys that are my
that.
friends that are also great coaches. And
I'm glad he said that. You ain't got to surround yourself with people friends and kumbaya with, and that's what happened last year. Raheem Morris surrounded himself with friends and kumbaya with stuff like that, and crap went downhill because nobody was being held accountable. Marquise Williams, our special teams coach, special teams lost us at least 3 to 4 games on simple kicks. The offensive coordinator was bad both years. You got to reprieve the first year because the defense coordinator that you hired for your first year here was just that much more worse than your offensive coordinator. You kept your offensive coordinator, then you fired your defense. And then you just yourself as a head coach just don't have a direction, know what to do. Things are going wrong, know how to turn things around. You are just a guy. You are just a cog. You're not meant to. That's what we got. Now we have a guy who knows how to do that, who has done it, and it's very different. The talk is just totally different, man.
And I was very, very blessed and fortunate to add those guys to the roster.
What is it that goes into when you did it in Cleveland, you're doing it here, meshing, guys with, guys that you've had no previous prior relationship with. How do you achieve that?
Yeah. I think for me, it's not the most important thing that I know the person that I have.
To answer that question, stop mixing your personal. Go into this situation personal. It's not gonna work. Going there on some business stuff, even if y'all not cool, eventually y'all can turn it into personal. Get the business in. Hey, I'm gonna do my job. You do your job. I'm gonna hold you accountable. You hold me accountable. That process, we be friends and be buddy kumbaya. That's different. But to come in and be like, oh, this is my homie. Oh, this is the homie. This is that no. That don't work whatsoever.
Shared experience with the person. That's not the most important. The most important is how they're going to help us win, help the Atlanta Falcons win on Sundays. There are times, though, where that does match up where you have a previous relationship with the person. But we retained 9 coaches on the staff, 6 on defense, 3 on offense. And I didn't have a prior relationship with those coaches, but I know how, just being around them and talking to people, I know how they're wired. I know what they believe in. And, it's my job as the head coach. I got to earn their trust.
I'm going to say it like this. It was just super smart to keep Jeff Ulbrich. Why come in and have to try to overhaul an offense and a defense? You can just overhaul one side of the ball and then maybe focus on the side. Which Falcons defense don't need to be overhauled. I think we still need a couple players where we can say our defense is made to be. I want to say top notch because we kind of had a touchdown defense for a little period of time during this past year. I want to say a consistent top notch defense have to have the play. I want to say maybe 2 players: a better linebacker. Actually, I'm gonna say 3: a better linebacker, 1 more base eater deep that can maybe give you a little side, and a corner. I say those are 3 defense. Probably have to really address an attack or some veteran presence, depending on what kind of veteran presence you're talking about and who it is as a player. Will be all right. Offensive wise, there's so much you got to do. You gotta remake your wide receiver. Gotta somewhat kind of read offensive line because they were pretty banged up. Not only that, you got to get your quarterback right. So much stuff on that offensive side.
Every day. It's not just something where there's a blind loyalty required when it comes to being a head coach. I think you have to earn that.
When you look at the Eagles, Seattle this year, the teams have been fine for those things.
Defense.
what it takes to get to that level of success?
Well, I mean, I think the 30 other teams are watching those teams and understanding how their rosters were built and how they play and those type of things. But I can promise you the two teams in particular, they focused at this time of year on what was important at this time of year, and that's really making sure that we are understanding these players for this draft, getting ready for free agency, and then laying a groundwork, a foundation, if you will, for the players once they get back in April to work. But I don't think that it's incumbent upon us at this moment to think too far ahead. I think it's really most important that we keep our head down and focus what's in front of us. Okay, good. Okay, thank you guys.
All right, that was it. Hey, man, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Till next time, stay fresh, stay blessed, stay fresh. Boom.